Rain pelted against the cafe windows like shards of glass, drumming a rhythm that matched Marisol's racing heart. She sat alone at a small table by the corner, her hands fidgeting with a napkin, the words she had planned to sign now trapped somewhere between her mind and her fingers. This was her first date in years, and already, the silence of his absence screamed louder than the storm outside. She had arrived early, excitement mingled with anxiety, and yet, as the minutes stretched into an hour, every hopeful glance toward the entrance ended in disappointment. Her ears, unable to catch the sound of a bell over the door, betrayed her. Her heart betrayed her. The cafe, once cozy and welcoming, now felt like a lonely island in a sea of strangers. If you believe in kindness and second chances, in the quiet magic of human connection, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Whisper Tales 3. Marisol traced the condensation on her coffee cup with a trembling finger, trying to steady the ache in her chest. She had been so ready to open herself, to let someone into the careful world she had built after years of solitude. The man she had met online seemed perfect, charming, attentive, and understanding of her deafness. She had imagined laughter spilling over their first conversation, the soft warmth of a hand brushing hers across the table. But as the hours slipped by, the reality that he wasn't coming settled over her like a heavy, suffocating fog. The barista offered a sympathetic smile, but it only emphasized how alone she was. Just as she began to gather her coat, ready to leave and swallow the bitter taste of disappointment, the door opened with a gust of wind and laughter, a chaos of sound she couldn't hear but could feel in the vibration of the floor. She looked up, startled, and froze. Four little faces peeked out from behind a man's tall frame, eyes wide with curiosity and excitement. The man himself looked tired, yet there was something gentle in the way he watched the children, a patience that seemed endless. He noticed her immediately, giving a quick, apologetic smile as if the entire cafe had somehow shrunk to just this small corner where she sat alone. He approached cautiously, balancing a stroller and the clamor of little feet, and Marisol instinctively signed a greeting, unsure if he would understand. To her relief, he smiled and signed back slowly, his hands warm and deliberate. "Sorry for the chaos," he signed, his eyes crinkling in a way that made her chest ache with empathy. "I didn't mean to crowd you." His name was Rylan, and as he navigated the cafe with his quadruplets, Luca, Isla, Arlo, and Nia, Marisol felt a strange shift in the air, a light breaking through the storm clouds of her evening. The children tugged at his sleeves, laughing and pointing at everything, their energy infectious. Marisol watched as he managed the impossible, juggling drinks, snacks, and the smallest hands gripping his own. There was no pretension in his movements, no hint of fatigue overshadowing his commitment to these tiny lives. And in that moment, she realized how much courage it took to love and care for others entirely, without expecting anything in return. Curiosity overcame her, and she signed a tentative question about the children. Rylan's expression softened, and he began to tell her, through sign language, the story of each child, how they came into his life unexpectedly, how he learned to navigate sleepless nights and endless questions, how he found joy in the chaos he never thought he could handle alone. Marisol's eyes watered, not from sadness, but from the raw beauty of the scene before her, a man who bore the weight of responsibility with kindness, and children who mirrored the purity of unguarded love. The cafe seemed to shrink around them, the storm outside fading into insignificance. Marisol realized that her loneliness, which had felt so absolute, was not a permanent state, it was a space waiting to be filled by connection, by understanding, by the courage to open her heart again. Rylan laughed at one of the children's antics, signing quickly, and she laughed too, a soundless sound that lifted the tension she hadn't realized she was holding. For the first time that evening, she felt seen, truly seen, and it was a sensation so rare it made her heart swell. Hours passed without the pressure of time. The storm subsided, leaving golden sunlight spilling across the floor, illuminating the faces of four little angels who had unknowingly transformed her evening. Marisol and Rylan continued to talk, signs flowing between them like a river, full of curiosity, humor, and the tentative exploration of something new and fragile. She found herself sharing stories she had never told anyone, and he shared the struggles and triumphs of raising quadruplets alone. Every shared glance, every gentle touch of a hand across the table, whispered of trust being built in the quietest of ways. By the time the cafe began to close, Marisol felt a connection deeper than any she had anticipated that night. She realized that sometimes life's disappointments are not rejections but redirections. Her date who never arrived was a doorway closing, but Rylan and his children were a window opening, a window to unexpected warmth, laughter, and the possibility of a family she hadn't dared imagine for herself. She signed a promise to herself that she would not let fear or past hurt stop her from embracing the beauty of this chance encounter. Rylan noticed the hesitance in her eyes, the flicker of doubt she tried to hide. He signed softly, reassuringly, that there was no rush, no expectation, only an invitation to share what came naturally. Marisol's heart leapt, not because the day had gone perfectly, but because it had gone unpredictably, magically, and real. She smiled, the gesture genuine and unforced, and felt for the first time in years that life could surprise her in the best possible way. As they stepped out into the fresh, rain-scented air, Marisol signed a playful promise to meet again, and the children cheered, tugging at their father's hands, their laughter echoing in the quiet streets. She realized that love, in all its forms, sometimes comes dressed as chaos, as laughter, as a storm-cleared afternoon, and that the heart, when willing to trust, can find home in the most unexpected places. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that even in loneliness there can be hope and unexpected joy, please engage with this video, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Whisper Tales 3. Your support keeps these stories alive and spreads the reminder that kindness and courage can transform lives. Let us honor every quiet soul waiting for a second chance, and every single parent whose love quietly moves mountains. This story is for you.